Hey, I'm Roland with Mobile Geeks, and today we have something very special for you because this is typically not our terrain because it's bigger than, let's say, 14 inches, but it's still pretty interesting because this is the new HP Omen 15. So that's their latest and greatest gaming laptop that is going to be out pretty soon, and it should be available from at 1,600 US dollars. I think it's also 1,599 euro in Europe and at least in Germany. And yeah, this is still a pre-production model, but it's still already the final design, and I'll just get it out of its box, get you some first impressions, what I feel like about it, and yeah, let's get started. So it comes in this massive box. I think this should weigh, I'm guessing 3.5 kilograms maybe. I don't have the final or the full spec list yet. But let's just unwrap it right now, and there you go. So there you have it, the Omen 15, and yeah, it's supposed to be the next generation in gaming. It's basically a 15-inch gaming notebook that has massive RAM. There's a 256 gigabyte SSD in here, and we're talking about the Intel Core i7 4710 HQ running this device that is clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, going up to 3.5 gigahertz on its 4 cores. And let's get us out of this special packaging. So you have this cover right there, and you can see kind of a special design, like trapeze formed, and yeah. So there you go. That's the top of the HP Omen 15. Full aluminum body except for the bottom, which is plastic as far as I know. Let's make sure this stays over there. And I'm just going to try and get this out of this box right here. So there you have it. Now this is a massive notebook. 15.6 inches, as I said. Full HD screen, and as you can hear, this is all metal. Black color on here, no reflections on the outside, but I think this should probably attract a bunch of fingerprints, but still looks pretty neat. So we have the Hewlett-Packard logo over here, and this special chrome hinge back here that has this colored design on the edges right there. So it looks like they kind of heated it up to get this color modification right there. But before we take a closer look at the notebook itself, let's just try and dive deeper down into the box, because the only thing that I have on this pre-production model coming with it is this massive 120 watt power supply. Let me try and see if I'm right about that. Yep, says 120 watts. So definitely massive power supply. Typical 3-plug design back here, and I think this is even a US version. Yeah, so we have the US power plug on here with its 3 sticks in there, and that's the power connector, proprietary stuff right there. So yeah, pretty compact for 120 watts though. Let's take a closer look at the notebook itself then. I'm just going to quickly open this up for you guys so you can take a small little peek right here. So there you go. Well, it isn't that big for a 15-inch device, I think, because the corners or the edges around the screen, or the bezel around the screen, is pretty small. They're adapting the same design on the trackpad right here that's been introduced on a bunch of other HP notebooks so far. For example, the NV 13 and 15 that just got launched, the new convertibles there. So they have these special scrolling bars on the side right here, and it's a massive trackpad, as you can see. We have a programmable bar of buttons on the left right there. The whole thing is backlit. When I'm going to turn it on in a second, you'll see there's a bunch of different colors on here. So I think these are red. This part over here for the gaming buttons is all green, and the rest of it is blue. Maybe I'm mixing this up, but we'll see in a second. Over here on the sides, you have massive speaker bars that deliver a pretty good sound for a device, for a notebook at least. There's also LEDs down here in this lower part where the speakers are that actually pulse along to the music, so you'll get your own little light show down there. As far as I could tell so far, there's red LEDs in here that don't change color, but we'll see about that later on. So the cover again is all aluminum right here. You have Beats audio integrated. Again, those are the two speakers, and there is a touch screen. The screen is 15.6 inches, full HD resolution, IPS panel with pretty good viewing angles. So let's take a quick tour around the device. I already showed you the front right here. Let's just make sure you get a good look at this massive keyboard. Keys also feel pretty sturdy. There's no flexing at all whatsoever on the keyboard, so that should definitely last for long hours. Gaming, we have a 2 megapixel camera up front right there in the middle, so that's pretty neat, and there's stereo mics up there. I think this is a Gorilla Glass cover. This is the power button over here, and other than that you get the full Monty on the keyboard. So this is a standard 6-row keyboard, including all the functions buttons that have other companies have started removing on their notebooks. When you look at the sides of the device, you'll certainly see pretty quickly that this has been reduced to a, let's call it the maximum, because the only thing you'll get on the sides is actually the SD card reader, and that's pretty much it, because on the other side there's pretty much nothing. On the bottom there is a plastic cover on here that also has a ton of holes punched into it to make sure this massive quad-core SoC from Intel in here is being cooled well enough. Has a plastic rim running around here so it doesn't slip on the table when playing games or whatever. And all the ports have actually been moved to the back. So if I close this down and we move over here to the back, you'll see that we have the headset jack right here. This is your display port right there. Full-size HDMI out and a whole 3 USB 3.0 ports back there for your peripherals, for example headsets or whatever. And this is the power plug, so full speed USB 3.0 ports all the way there on the back, which is pretty nice because you don't want to fiddle around with those ports on the sides where you have your mouse for gaming, for example. There's also these two massive vents back here for the cooling of the SoC, because this is certainly actively cooled. I think there's even 2 fans on, there's a fan on both sides. The whole thing is getting thinner towards the front, so you have a nice angle for typing. And what you also have to notice is that you have some really, really sharp edges going on, making for a sleek design on this pretty massive and pretty heavy. I think the whole thing is about 1 inch thick, maybe just over 3 centimeters, I would guess, on this device. It's still a pretty slim device for a device that is as powerful as this. As I said, there's this quad-core Core i7 in here, plus 16 gigs of flash storage and a 256 gigabyte SSD. Let's just open it up and turn it on for a second. I'm just going to move it over here so you can see it better. I'm just going to hit that button, and down here you can already see the LEDs doing their thing. The fan is kind of loud, but this is to be expected from a device that is this big and is oriented towards gaming. It is always on. There's also a 38 to 20 milliamp hour battery integrated right here on this device. So I'm thinking this should be capable of a runtime of around 2 hours, depending on usage. When you're taxing the device, playing games or whatever, you will probably end up with a runtime of just around an hour, but alas, this is not supposed to run off its battery, right? So now that it's booted up, you can see that you definitely get a full HD screen on here. Performance is as is to be expected, very nice on this device. Running Windows 8.1 in the 64-bit edition, including a bunch of software from HP, so you get the McAfee LifeSafe app on here, and there's also this Omen control center where you can assign all the buttons to different functions. There's also the possibility to change around the lighting, so you can change the lighting on the keyboard. Definitely also switch around, play around with the LED brightness in here, switch all the colors, and switch between the different areas of the keyboard to set it to your liking. There's also a bunch of shortcuts on here, and yeah, that's pretty much it on this device. So This was just a quick look at the HP Omen 15 gaming notebook coming out very soon, and there you could see the LEDs lighting up in different ways. So what I was wrong about earlier is definitely the coloring of the keyboard LEDs, because these can definitely be changed around. So I was rolling with Mobile Geeks, checking out the HP Omen for you guys, and if you like what we do on our channel, give us a thumbs up, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and we'll see you later. Bye.